This meeting is being recorded.
Call to order the Town of New Windsor work session for January 19th, 2021. We are recording to the cloud. 4 council members are here. Councilman Green is absent at tonight's meeting. Approval of the November 16th, 2020 work session minutes. There were 2, the 6 o'clock and the 7 o'clock. And before you is the 6 o'clock minutes. Do I hear a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Schultz, second by Councilman Smith to approve the 6 o'clock work session minutes on November 16, 2020. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of approval, raise your hand. Noted all 4 council members have approved. The 7 o'clock work session. They have been emailed out to everybody by Donna. Does anybody need to see anything? Again, do I hear a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
In a second.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Huffman, second by Councilman Paulsgrove to approve the second work session minutes for November 16, 2020. All those in favor, again, signify by raising your hand. Noted all 4 council members have approved. Thank you. Town election, continued discussion.
The recording has stopped.
Oh, wait a minute.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, something happened there.
Mayor, if you could pull up the schedule first of the
Okay.
dates. Good evening, everyone. These will be the dates. The nomination forms will go out February 8th. Last date of file will be April the 12th. And basically it's self-explanatory. You can read down there. Election day is May the 11th. The one thing I would like to point out is it will be held at the town hall in the meeting room, not where your voter card says. So I'll make sure that plenty of notice goes out to all the residents so that they're aware of that. And if you could pull the other form up, Mayor, please, the certificate of candidacy for nomination.
Donna, while the mayor's doing that, can I also suggest that if since we are moving the location, I know we'll put out plenty of notice, maybe the day of the election, we go to the community meeting room and put a sign on that door. Just
Yeah, I'll have a sign. Already ahead of you. Already ahead of you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Probably.
We'll have it posted.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Ed. So the certificate of candidacy nomination form, we've added some additional information this year so that anyone looking at the charter is very clear on the requirements for the position that they're applying for. And this also will help our chief election judge because she has requirements that she has to ascertain that the candidates are properly eligible for the election. So it's a little bit longer this year.
I'd say.
So basically we're preparing and in discussions with the chief election judge, Public Works Director Myers, Town Manager Dye, and I have been laying out a plan as to how to set up the meeting room so that we are COVID-19 protected for everyone involved. So Any questions on?
Seems like a lot on there. It seems like we're making it more difficult than what we really need to, my opinion.
And the reason being?
Well, one, we don't have any proof that they've lived here 2 years, do we? You got all this other proof that they've lived in town.
Well, that's in the sections in the charter that are quoted.
Well, then why we have all this other?
Basically to ensure that they are residing in the town.
But again, we don't know if they've lived here 2 years.
Okay, so I have a legal question that maybe Michelle can jump in on. Michelle, is there any law that prohibits us from, when we do these nomination forms, that it's under penalty of perjury?
I don't know. Candidly.
Because then
know.
you would have to serve, then you're certifying, and then if we find out that for whatever reason you don't meet the eligibility requirements, or notarized or something.
Yeah, I don't know that the town has the ability to cite someone for perjury. And I think we would have to then take that to a court and ask the court to cite someone for perjury.
Right. Well, maybe the word I'm using is wrong. So when you go before a notary, you swear that the facts that you presented are true, correct? So maybe not, the word's not perjury, but you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're talking about. And actually your concerns, both yours and the mayor's, are why Donna and I have talked at some length about the best way to ask for and obtain as much information as possible to assist the Board of Election Supervisors in their job. Now, you're correct, Mr. Mayor, this doesn't require, it requires someone who is running to sign off that they meet the requirements, and the requirements are to live within the jurisdiction for 2 years. In order to confirm that is why we asked for those other things, of registration card, some kind of proof of residence. I don't really know of a way to confirm someone has resided in the town for 2 years. Unless they had every old BG&E bill for the last 23 months. And I know I don't keep those things, so I don't know that other people would. They do have to certify that it's true, and we could require that it be notarized, except that then either the candidate has to go somewhere where there is a notary, or the town has to have a notary public available all the time for anybody who wants to submit a certificate. And of course you could do that, but that does add an additional onus on both the candidate and the town staff. I don't know if Donna is a notary, but if she is or isn't, it might actually not even be appropriate, now that I'm thinking about it out loud, for the town clerk to be the notary on the certificate of nomination that then goes to a different town entity for proof. See what I'm saying? So, can you do that? Certainly. I don't think there's anything that would be illegal or improper about that requirement. And if you choose to do that, you certainly could do that. But the town, I think, would then need to be sure that a notary was available, because otherwise, then that someone has to get the form, they have to go to a bank, and what if they can't get there, or there's nobody there? All of that kind of hoo-ha.
Well, Michelle, what documentation would a citizen show a notary that would provide proof that they lived in the town for 2 years?
None.
So you're just going by their word again.
Yeah, I mean, that's when someone comes in to have something notarized, you check their driver's license, You ask them to swear that the contents of what they're signing is true and correct to the best of their knowledge. The notary doesn't have any obligation to assure that they're not lying to the notary, other than to do the best and get the ID and keep track of the records of who. But short of requiring someone to bring in their tax returns for the last 2 years, which is a whole different kettle of fish, insofar as what if you don't file, or you're retired, or you object to having that information publicly known. There are other arguments that would be made against tax returns, for example, but I don't know. And I think the list that we have here is fairly comprehensive. They don't have to bring all of those things. They just have to bring one of those things. A vehicle registration. If you're a renter, you don't have a tax bill, but you probably would have a vehicle registration, or at least a BG&E bill or a cable bill or something. That's what, if you go to the MBA, they take those things as proof of your residence. So that's why we came up with that. Actually, I can't say we came up with that list. Donna came up with that list.
Well,
Seems overkill.
Okay, so
We have
I
two
think
different
that
sides
was
of that discussion.
I feel that was a pretty genteel segue into the obvious elephant in the room. Is there any other qualifying or disqualifying things that we are legally allowed to put in there, first of all? And then second of all, in response to many inquiries this week, is there anything that would prohibit the town, and I think I already know the answer to this, by the way, but to prohibit the town from some sort of background investigation or background check on a candidate? I think that that's pushing the limit to interference. But like I said, talking about the elephant in the room, I just think that there's going to be some questions about that from citizens. So I'm trying to preempt that.
Well, I'll go on that if you want. Unsurprisingly, this is something that has already been talked about. A background check for a candidate, I don't know of any other jurisdiction that does, largely because if the candidate is otherwise legally eligible, a background check could be of interest, but from the town's perspective, probably not of consequence. Now, obviously, it could be of political consequence, but that's not our issue. Our issue is someone eligible to serve under the law. And unless a background check somehow revealed that all of the other information that had been provided to us was fraudulent, and our candidate is, in fact, some sort of illegal refugee from another country, which I can't imagine that would ever happen. I don't see what you could do with that. The issue of background checks has certainly been discussed of late. But there are certain things that you can't prohibit someone for running for office for any number of things that would show up on a background check. And the additional downside, and my concern, since we're talking about it, is the town as an entity certainly doesn't want to be in a situation where the town is perceived to be obtaining information that can be used for a private candidate against a different private candidate. Because our concern is that the people are eligible under our charter, and we know they're eligible under the charter. And that's really about as far as I believe we can go.
And then one quick follow-up question. Is there a possibility of asking other qualifying or disqualifying questions? More specifically, can we ask about previous convictions as a disqualifying or qualifying answer on an application? And can we disqualify somebody for that?
I have not researched that question, but my instinctive reaction is that it is very unlikely.
That's what I
you know, if there's an interest in me getting more information about that, we certainly can. I have not at this point.
I have researched it and I agree with you. I just wanted an attorney, somebody with those letters after their name to agree.
Put
And
me on the spot. No, I just don't think.
I mean, I can't authorize that, but I personally think that it's something that maybe we need to look at.
So if I may ask the council, do you wish to take off the identifying factors in the list? Do you want to just leave the copy of the Maryland license and the registration card and take the other off? Or are you okay with it?
I think we this doesn't go out. I mean, people can't file until what, the 8th?
Yeah, I mean, this is just the preliminary.
Yeah, so we have till the 3rd of February to make a final decision, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'd rather have it done, but that's
Understand, but I
okay.
think we need to do a little more research on a couple things, just to protect ourselves.
I agree, Mr. Mayor, and I think that if we can do that, I think that that would be showing that we're doing our due diligence, obviously with information that's been revealed lately. This is new to anybody and not expected or something that could have been anticipated. So I think that anything that we can do to do our due diligence is a plus for the town. And I thank you.
Okay, so the decision will be made at the February 3rd town council?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've requested a copy of everybody else's because I think there's going to be changes in the other municipalities.
I've already gotten all the clerks from the county, and most of them have that information on there, but that's fine, whatever you all decide.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I will look into the issue of disqualifying events.
Thank you. Public Works Maintenance Worker position.
Neal?
Okay, good evening, everybody. Public Works Director Myers and Town Manager Dye finished interviews on Monday and Tuesday last week. We checked the references on our first choice, and Town Manager made a verbal offer to Mr. Ed Barnett on Wednesday, January 13th. Mr. Barnett accepted the verbal offer, and letter and paperwork was mailed on Thursday, January 14th. Mr. Barnett's start date will be Monday, February 1st. So that's just an update and some good news for Public Works and Town Hall as a whole.
And Public Works truck.
Okay. So the Public Works took delivery of our new F-250 crew cab pickup truck on Wednesday, January 13th. That was a busy day that week. It's both a beauty and a beast. It will serve Public Works and the town very well for many years. Public Works Director Myers did a great job putting the specifications together and deserves a thank you and credit for that. So keep an eye out for the new addition to the town fleet.
And I know when Alan and Wayne met me to sign a check for that truck, there was 2 happy employees. I would like to know what the result is. They don't have to tell me tonight, but I asked whether or not Alan got to drive the truck, new truck, or seniority took over. So I haven't heard the end of that one yet.
Well, I can't say if Alan's driven the truck, but the town manager has.
Okay.
I didn't tell Director Myers that I hadn't driven a vehicle with a plow on it until I got back and didn't take any signs or mailboxes down. So
All right. All right. Railroad pedestal tank.
okay, I'm up still here. Okay. A second leak was discovered on the pedestal tank on Sunday, January 10th by Director Myers. The leak is in the same vertical vein as the first leak, but it's 2 panels higher, which is good in a way because there's more volume there that can be utilized in the tank. So our current plan is to lower the level of the tank to just below the leak. We're going to reset our SCADA parameters, high and low parameters, and then we're going to wait until mid-April to repair the leak while the other planned maintenance is being done. The adjusted water level is below the regular operational level, but we feel confident that the pressure and volume, reduced pressure and volume capacity will be sufficient until the repair and maintenance work is done in April. This plan was weighed against fixing the leak now and then also doing the planned maintenance in April, which will be more costly to the town to do it that way. By waiting, we'll take advantage of the benefit from the economy of scale by doing all the repairs and maintenance at one time. Director Myers has reached out to Fire Chief Welker and will continue to keep him informed of the situation with that. And Director Myers will be gathering costs for the maintenance work in the spring, as well as the repair work, and we'll have more information on that at future meetings.
What's the, going forward after these repairs are made, what's the maintenance program for this going forward?
Well, it should be there's a suggested or recommended maintenance inspection, I guess, schedule. So the company that's doing that did the first repair and will be doing the second repair and the maintenance is Mid-Atlantic storage tanks who installed and constructed the tank. So we're going to be following their recommendations on what maintenance to do in the spring, and then what schedule and regular maintenance should be done moving forward.
How about, I know we just rehabbed recently the other one, but is that on a maintenance program or needs to be, or?
Yeah, we can check on that as well with them, with Mid-Atlantic when we get, I'll have Wayne look into that as we move forward into the spring here. As you said, that one was refurbished fairly recently, but yeah, we can look at that and coordinate that all together, so to speak.
All right.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to jump in here. So Mid-Atlantic Storage Systems recommends a 5-year inspection of all the tanks, and usually it's a visual inspection. And then about every 6 to 7 years, they recommend, they actually have a machine that can dive down in and take footage and kind of give you an idea of the condition of the interior of the tank. But I plan on probably about every year or two climbing the tanks, looking down in them, doing a visual inspection and everything like that. Like I say, we've never really had a maintenance program on our tanks, so that's something new to us. So Gary and I will work out the details and let everybody know.
Thank you. And Mayor and Council laptops.
Okay, well, you can pretty much scratch what I had on my thing because about I guess it was probably about one o'clock this afternoon. Mike with Maryland IT Solutions showed up with all the laptops. He came in and I'd been talking and following up with Corey with Maryland IT, and he was planning on, as of last week, was planning on being here Tuesday or Wednesday, and he basically just showed up with them. So he configured those with the mayor and council, and then I'm going to use Mayor Roop as our guinea pig to get him started, which he's done so far, and work out any kinks or problems, and then with Maryland IT, and then once that's resolved, then we'll get the rest of the council in and get the laptops to each of you, and then hopefully Neal can spearhead anything that he had to do or any questions. He didn't have too much trouble. Is that right, Neal?
Just Adobe needs to be downloaded, and the Office. It's a simple process, but if he wanted to go ahead and install Office Windows or not Windows, but Office spreadsheets and everything, documents, That would be probably just a little benefit to the council. They didn't have to mess with it
Okay.
because the Adobe needed his password.
All right. So if you would just sometime tomorrow or soon as you can, send me an email with a list of what you need or what needs done. And then I'll get that to Maryland IT, either Corey or Mike, and I'll copy you back on that.
Very good.
They're nice. The clarity on them I think is really nice. We got cases with them. We still got to they still have to provide the mouse, but we have our remote earbuds with them, which are real nice. I don't know if you tried those out yet or not, Neal, but they're everything looks
They are nice. So
yeah, everything looked real good. So we should be getting them to you here very shortly. So
and I guess there's a charger in here.
yeah, everything should be in the case.
All right.
So Kim, I just want to know that you're special because one of the carrying cases was a different color. So since I thought it was more suitable for a female, so I gave you that case.
Michelle, is he able to use that word?
It's okay to say case.
No.
They apologized. They couldn't get all the same color. So I just said, well, that looks like Kim. So.
All right. Council, have anything to bring up? All right. Then do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Mayor, I'm sorry, I couldn't get my microphone unmuted earlier.
Okay.
Can you go back and post up that schedule of the election, the dates with that? There was something I'm not sure I saw on that.
These two dates could probably be turned around so nobody gets confused. April 12th, April 5th.
Okay, is this something that you can send to us? I'm gonna try to do a screenshot of it here, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm seeing what I didn't see earlier. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Ed, I believe it was sent today by Donna. It's on one of those attachments. When she
Okay,
sent
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I was on the road all day, just got in the motel room like 5 minutes before this started,
Yeah.
so I didn't get that
Yeah,
open.
it's actually on there.
Okay, thank you.
I know you want
miles?
to get your application filled out very early.
Right.
Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So
So moved.
All right. Well, we're going to say Ed and Ed made the motion in the second. All those in favor, signify by saying or wave your hand. Meeting adjourned. Night, everybody. Be safe.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.